Yeah, I think that the biggest problem these days is that it's very easy to switch context. So, for example, the other day I was on the bus and I was just going to work, but I kept getting messages from people, and I was pretty tired that morning, so I just wanted to take a nap on the bus. But my phone kept vibrating in my pocket, and it just made me think for a moment there that you know I'm trying to do something, but the world's taking me in so many different directions. So what should I do at any given point in time? You know, is there a moral thing there? Is there, what paradigm should I use to determine my next action? So, in my experience, it's just been that whether it be at work, at university, the youth of these days, the friends that I have, the communities that I've been fortunate enough to be absorbed into, the biggest problem that I've seen is that people, including myself, aren't able to stay in one place at any given time. And I don't mean physically, I mean mentally. You might be talking to someone, but a phone vibration is enough for you to switch direction. It's enough for you to change the stream of thought that you were in at any given point in time. And I think that that's something that we should all work on. So what's it going to do to you is the question. We know what happens if you're perseverant. You'll achieve your goals, everything's great. But what happens if you're not perseverant? I think that's something that's not talked about much, purely because it's one of the negatives, and we like to aspire towards the positive, which is a great thing. But it's a social issue which we are very much focusing on these days in the world. And if you're not perseverant, then it can have very big impacts on you. Self-confidence is the first thing that pops up in my mind. If I'm not able to go to sleep thinking and feeling that yes, today I really focused on the right things, I progressed towards where I want to get to, and if that continues for a few days, maybe a week, maybe a month, then my self-esteem, my self-confidence in my ability will decrease. And I've seen that when that happens, when people lose motivation, they also lose track of the way they behave as well. So they start to talk to people very, rashly. They can be a little rude sometimes, it's not to say that the person is, becoming worse or becoming a bad person. I think it's just an after effect, a direct after effect of not being able to progress towards a direction that we want to. Because life is a big thing. There's so many different paths that you can take. Once you decide, I want to take a certain path, if you don't take it, you end up becoming very lost. You don't know where you're going, you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. And that is the biggest, I think, challenge that aiming to persevere brings about. A goal and life in general is a long-term affair. And I think the biggest downfall that I have personally and I've seen in other people's lives that occurs is that we get caught into the short term, and despite having this long-term thing that we're aiming towards, all these short-term things come in between us and they take us away from what we're really trying to get to. If you're trying to get from point A to B, then A1, A2, A3, sure they might come along, but if they don't align with point B, then why are you going there? You don't need to. So I feel that the line between point A and point B and in anything in life is just perseverance. If you're perseverant, then it doesn't matter how many things come in your way. You'll laugh about it later because you've taken the right decisions as per the goals that you've set for yourself. And why should we set goals? Why should we be perseverant? That's the challenge of life, right? We wake up one day, we decide for ourselves, I want to get to here. So if you want to get to there, then how are you going to get there? Of course there's things you need to do, but if you're doing those things and you're doing them not with full focus and full perseverance, then we often find that we don't really get to where we want to, but it's not like we're not there either. We're kind of in this middle ground. So it's really about taking control of your life, taking hold of your life and saying, okay, I want to get here in 6 months and I am going to get there. It's not a maybe, it's not a, there's no feeling inside you that says, oh, it might happen, might not happen. There's this boldness about you, there's this very strong confidence about you that, I want to get here, I know how to get there, and I'm going to get there. So that kind of boldness is something that I've seen in a lot of people that I very much respect in the community, and it's something that I aspire to every day. So what I would really like to say to the people out there, I'm not a person who's, just up there, amongst the amazing people in the world. But in my experience, what I feel is that, 10 years down the track, we're going to be the leaders of the world. One of us, maybe even one of your friends, is going to be in a position of power. He's going to be looking after a community, looking after maybe a company, looking after the well-being of others. And very much, we are the people who will shape where the world goes in the future. So we need to be bold, we need to be confident, we need to be persevering. There's many problems in the world that we hear about every day, but if you're not going to be a part of the solution, if you're not going to be a person who, despite seeing all these problems, remains constant, remains stable, remains immovable, then what impact are you going to have on the world? That's what I ask myself every day. And I think that if we do want to make a difference, we must learn the importance of perseverance and the importance of taking every obstacle and saying, alright, it's there, but I know what I need to do. And I'm going to do it with full confidence, and I'm going to change the world.